So today's topic, I want to talk about near-death experiences and pre-birth memories. Now, with these two topics, an overarching theme starts to present itself. You start to see time and time again people say, I didn't want to come back. And just so you guys know, I'm driving, so I'm not going to be able to really read the comments unless I'm at a light. Anyways, so you start to see constantly these people will come back from their near-death experience and report that, they didn't want to come back, but something was telling them to come back. And usually there is an entity involved with this, and what they'll do is they'll present something like, oh, well, you've got your children, you've got your mother, your father, you got your dog, you got something back on Earth. Now, I didn't say a lot of people, but a good chunk you'll see they something inside them told them that basically their family members will be all right. So what the entity starts to do is kind of go through, if they're not successful, you see this when you start reading through it and you start to constantly recognize what's going on. The entity kind of, whoever's dealing with them, will go through a list of whatever, like a family member. So if they can't get through to you on your child, if they can't get through to you on your mother, they're going to go through this list until you feel that you cannot, that you have to go back for a reason, that there's a reason for going back and doing this, and that they need your help back there. And a lot of people, this is another one that you'll see constantly, is that these people are on a mission, that they have some reason that they have to come back. It might not even be family members. It might be, I've seen stuff where it's to help the environment, to help people heal, to help people grow spiritually. I mean, you name it. And, of course, you can link in the religious aspect with all of this. And it really starts to create a big picture. Now, constantly you're going to see people saying they didn't want to come. And if you didn't see my last video on the pre-birth memories, a guy who gave his testimony, and I did commentary on it, check it out. He's a great example, and he's just one of many. He talks about how he didn't want to come back, but he wanted to become almost like this God being that he was associating with. He wanted to be like him, and so he wanted to reach that status, so to say. And the only way he can do that, of course, is by continuing to learn here on Earth and take those lessons in and continually keep reincarnating. The whole point of all of this is to get you back here. Everything is here in place to distract you, to get you back in a body, to be as confused and deceived as possible, and be primed for the pickings when you're leaving your body and death is on your doorstep. Okay? So I just wanted to make this video so for those that are kind of new to the reincarnation, soul trap, matrix, whatever you want to call it, the earth trap, the prison planet, you pick the name. Overarching themes you constantly see in near-death experiences that I didn't want to come back, and same thing with pre-birth memory. Just see it constantly, over and over. Just read through the stories, listen to the stories, watch the stories, all these testimonies, and that's something you'll start to pick up on. And then it seems like once they get into a body, they start to slowly lose themselves. And that can even be said for as much as people gain by having a near-death experience and having these pre-birth memories. Things, yes, change a lot, especially for near-death experiences, but pre-birth memory accounts, they change when they get this recollection of them, and things that they once knew kind of start to fall by the wayside. And as I mentioned in the previous video before this, Earth is like the biggest case of Stockholm syndrome you've ever seen. We like to make excuses for what goes on here and label everything that's happening as a learning experience, when in fact it is the sickest, most twisted game you can ever imagine, right? I mean, people love to make excuses for their captors. They like to make excuses for why things are the way they are, when in fact it's supposed to be this way. That's why it is meant to be this way on purpose, because all the system is rooted in is getting you back here. That's its sole objective. It wants you to put your energy into things once you do come into a body and feed off of that energy. We can call it archons, we can call it the loosh from Bob Monroe, whatever you want to call it. There, if you even look at the movie The Matrix, which I'm sure everyone here has seen, you say, the human body is a battery, okay? We are energy emitting machines in this biological suit, and our spirit consciousness is jammed into the brain. The brain acts as a governor, but as we go through life, we experience all sorts of different things, and the negative energy as well as the love is a energy producer, but mainly the negative energy seems to be what they feed on the most. That seems very obvious just by my life experience, and probably by your life experience. You can see a system that is completely rooted in negativity and being at a quote-unquote lower vibrational field or sensing. So you're outputting this energy, and something out there is picking it up and utilizing it for themselves. Now, what's a great example of something we've seen throughout history constantly is, sacrifice, human sacrifice. That's an overarching theme in humanity's history. It doesn't matter where you look, you're going to find it constantly. And they're, killing somebody, torturing somebody for a god, a result, an energy excretion, so to say. And we can even go down the MK Ultra route. What happens to these children who grow up in these situations where they're going through these mind control things, because that's what they're doing. They're separating and compartmentalizing the human experience for that person through torture. I mean, we're kind of topic of the video, but I'm just putting that out there so you kind of see how there's a correlation with some of these things. But the big one, again, is for if you're new to the whole reincarnation matrix theory, not theory, I think I know it's fact. There is no more theory for me. But if you're still new to it and on the fence and saying, oh yeah, something definitely seems wrong here, how can I know inside me and know better and firm up that knowing inside me? Well, a big step of that is reading through near-death experiences and pre-birth memories, and you will see These people constantly saying they didn't want to come back. And then, of course, you have, hell-like experience, near-death experience, But a lot of it is, it's based in love and this love bomb that people go through. It's the most love they've ever felt in their life. Nothing can compare to it on earth. So you have that aspect to it too. But think about it. If you were trying to control a spirit, a soul, and trying to manipulate them, what better way to do it than love? If you don't have to throw an experience that will be perceived as negative at somebody, then you're gonna yield results in the long run better by putting out the love frequency. Okay? By putting out the frequency that someone met Jesus, or the frequency that someone met Muhammad or Buddha, whatever. Okay? And that all correlates to the person's experience. So if your life experience is, you're a holy roller, you're Christ, you love Christ and this and that and Jesus, that's all fine and dandy. But you can expect a visitation from something that resembles a Jesus-like frequency, and probably it will be misinterpreted. So, just some food for thought, and the same goes for other religions as well. It's customized to the person's belief system for the most part, and that is weaponized against you at the time of death. So, just wanted to throw these things out there. So if you're on the fence, go read near-death experiences, pre-birth memories, listen, watch, and you'll hear time and time again, constantly, that people didn't want to come back. So why do they come back?